यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य
ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः सर्वोपप्लवरहित प्रज्ञान घन प्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्माहमस्मि सोहमस्मि ब्रह्माहमस्मि। ओम प्रपन्नपारिजाताय तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। May the Almighty Shri Lord Venkateshwara bestow all kinds of prosperity, health, wealth and eternal happiness with Paripurna Lakshmi Katakshams to you and the entire your family members and friends. Let us begin Bhagavad Gita, verse number 20 of 11th chapter. Arjuna uvacha vyava prathivyoridamantaram hi vyaptam tvayaikena dishascha sarvaha drashtvadbhutam rupamugram tavedam lokatrayam pravyathitam mahatman. For the past three verses, Bhagavan has been described as Nirguna Swarupa. Because the teaching which Arjuna had for the past 10 chapters, from the chapter 1, because I consider even from the chapter 1, because when you blabber, when we speak, then we will come to know about ourselves. Otherwise, one of the disciples of Swami Vivekananda says, if you want to know about yourself, you have to observe your outcoming as words or as a body language or as some kind of activity. You observe throughout the day. Therefore, writing diary on your activities will be very much useful for you to define what the character and what the characteristic you have. So when we speak, then alone we will come to know what we have in our mind. In that way, so the first chapter Arjuna blabbered by saying that he came to know the condition about his own mentality, his own knowledge, the knowledge which he had. It was a proper knowledge, but it was not given or not established in a proper sequence. That's what he came to know. Even that chapter also we have to include like a teaching alone. For the past 10 chapters, what he learned was, so Bhagavan is existing in this world. So all this world name and form are his attribute alone. So this is a kind of expression. So all the names and forms are attributed to Lord Ishvara alone. That's what So Tvam Aksharam, you are that imperishable. When he says he is experiencing something, he is correlating and connecting with the knowledge which he learned from the past chapters. And Paramam Veditavyam, he could connect people, effort and Bhagavan. The life has to have the connection of Bhagavan, otherwise the life won't get the proper completion. Therefore, Arjuna is able to define you are imperishable, that supreme Brahman, that Brahman which is to be known, which has to be sought after by the human being. This human being should have the effort to realize you. That has to be the main motto of the life, which the current society is lagging a lot. Therefore, Paramam Veditavyam means you are the supreme goal. You are means you can be the supreme goal. Then the people who are not understanding it, they are not having proper life at all. And Asya Vishwasya Param Nidhanam, and you are the abode, you are the sustainer, and also you are the protector of all the secret of the law of Dharma. That's what Shashvata Dharma Gopta. So you maintain everything with secrecy and secretly you are maintaining, because the human mind are kept away from the secrets of the samsara chakra. Sanatanaha, you alone exist forever. Purusho Matome, you are the essence of all the scriptures. This is what the content of the 18th chapter. Completely message from Upanishads. That all essence from Upanishad in the form of Nirguna. So Bhagavan is to be understood, realized in the form of Nirguna. What is that Nirguna? As a formless. And there are religions, they also say God doesn't have the form. But according to their worship system, they fix one place for the worship. That is also wrong. When you are establishing proper fact in the form of philosophy, you have to bring by step, even the worship method. Because in Sanatana Dharma, we begin with the form worship, then we go with, means Ekarupa Bhakti or Upasana. Anekarupa Bhakti or Upasana, then we go to Arupa Bhakti and Upasana. Ekarupa Bhakti means a normal devotion with one God, God in one form, that is known as Ekarupa Bhakti or Upasana. This Bhakti and Upasana words are similar meaning, even Bhakti and Upasana and meditation. So three of them, they appear as though they are different now. So a meditation should contain bhakti and upasana. A upasana should contain bhakti and meditation, means dhyanam. Then what is that? Upasana should contain ekagrata, meditation, dhyanam and bhakti. So these three words, they are explained in different angle, but whenever you use upasana, the meditation and bhakti also comes in. Whenever you use bhakti, both of others, they comes in. In order to interpret the meaning, you have to be careful with these three words. Now, this bhakti, which is in the form of upasana, which is also nothing but the meditation. When you take this every verses, you should just visualize it. Visualize it means what? You should have informed. So you cannot visualize. Visualize means you cannot imagine. So there is slight difference between imagination and visualization. So when you visualize, so that's you are creating. So that you are voluntarily you are pushing with a particular knowledge in particular subject. The imagination also is the same, but only one thing, the visualization, it has the attitude from inside. The imagination, it is mere imagination. In order to convert imagination into visualization, so you should have the effort. So you can visualize anything. So now if you visualization means with proper understanding. You may not completely convinced with meaning of this both word, but there is a difference. So I need at least half an hour to establish visualization and imaginations. They are different. It's okay, that's a different subject. But here he could visualize Ishvara with the knowledge which was informed by Lord Krishna. And Lord Krishna, who also studied under Shantipani Maharshi for a long time. Therefore, the teaching always not from our head, it is from Sanatana Dharma. Therefore, wherever you go to the temples which is established according to Sanatana Dharma, you can find all these methods. You can find there is a Saguna Upasana. In the Saguna Upasana, they start or begin with Ekarupa Bhakti, then they go to Anekarupa Bhakti. That's what symbolically shown as Eka Deepa, Dvi Deepa, means Eka Mukha Deepa, Dvimukha Deepa, Trimukha Deepa, and Chaturmukha Deepa, Panchamukhi Deepa. So all these are symbolizing this Tattva alone. All these tattvas are kept in the form of kriya or in the form of tantra or in the form of mantra. Even when you do archana, Ekarupa Yanamaha, Anekarupa Yanamaha, Arupa Yanamaha, you can find with all the gods. If you want to perform puja for Lord Mahavishnu, you can find all this. Vishnu itself, Vyapnoti, who is all pervasive. That is the meaning. The Nirguna Upasana is experienced by Arjuna in the verse number 18. the verse from 19, he is visualizing as the Virat. That Nirguna Swarupam alone is visualized as the universe. Therefore, he says the universe, it seems to be having beginning and end, but it doesn't. Because the beginning and end, for me, with a limited body, the experience are taking place. If I don't have the body, this limitation won't be taking place. I cannot experience the limitations. That is the fact. That fact is accepted by the verse number 19. In the verse number 19, so he says, you alone exist in the form of Vishwa. This Nirguna Swarupam alone appears to be as the world. That fact is being accepted. So Nirguna means it doesn't have any form and name. But the subject which doesn't have form and name, how can it would appear as a name and form? That is the beauty of Sanatana Dharma. So the 10th chapter, especially the chapter number 7, 9 and 10, beautifully it explains. So if you want to enjoy the 11th chapter, so you should have gone 7, 9, 10. 8 doesn't come into this. If you want to enjoy the 7, if you want to understand 7, 9 and 10 chapters, you should have completed first 6 chapters. Therefore, so if anybody wants to have the questions or analysis, come from the beginning, means come from the first chapter, then you will get a proper answer. Then we come to today's words. Dhyava prithivyoho idam antaram hi vyaptam tvaya ekena dishascha sarva. I could see Krishna from earth to sky. See, this is a kind of expression. From earth to sky, I could see the space in between them. So that space is pervaded by you alone. And I could feel all the directions, nothing but you alone. Your perception, your presence is experienced by me. This is not visualizing through the mind. This is a kind of experience with the buddhi and knowledge. It means, so he is able to understand the fact of philosophy, means the fact of Upanishads. Therefore, Drashtva Adbhutam Rupam Ugram Tavedam Lokatrayam Pravyathitam Mahatman. Practically, if you want to experience this experience which Arjuna is undergoing, you go to the temple and stand in front of any statue, especially to the Mahavishnu temple. You go and stand in front of the statue of Mahavishnu. You look at it. You look at it after understanding Vishnu Sahasranama. Before studying Vishnu Sahasranama, with the meaning I tell you. With meaning means the meanings which are given by the Sanatana Parampara people. You learn the Vishnu Sahasranama and go and stand every day. See, before beginning Vishnu Sahasranama, you go and stand in front of Bhagavan. You have your normal prayer, then come back. You have to regularly make it. You should go regularly, have darshana. At the same time, you can also start studying Vishnu Sahasranama day by day and week by week, month by month. See, when you complete Vishnu Sahasranama, you can see Mahavishnu as the Vishwa. So then you can connect by seeing this statue with the whole entire universe, creation. That's what is happening with Arjuna. When he is in front of Krishna, he is able to see all the world in the Krishna. That's what is going on. Therefore, he could see, the space which we are experiencing with our mind, limited mind. So it seems to be unlimited now. And it seems to be pervaded by the consciousness of Krishna and all the directions. So those directions also pervaded by Krishna consciousness. From the second line, Arjuna specifies one more factor of our life. So that what is that one more factor of our life? Because life always is not pleasant. A day is endowed with pleasant experience and the bad experience also. And in a year, you can also calculate some days or dates, so they become black day for us, because it's a bad event, bad experience, some accident, it takes place. So we are not able to avoid it because we cannot predict it. That unknown source, it completely flatters us or floods us. We cannot avoid that. Events also is nothing but Bhagavan alone. That all those tragedies, events, accidents, they are also glory of Bhagavan alone. That's what he say. Tava ugram rupam drishtva, adbhutam ugram rupam drishtva, lokatrayam pravyathitam. So all these three worlds, they are frightened by seeing your terrible form. Bhayankara rupam. The death comes, and always whenever we think about the death, we discuss about the death, we become something, a peculiar feeling comes from inside. That feeling, is it called insecurity? No, it's not called insecurity. Some kind of small amount of restlessness takes place. Why? What happens? If anybody is born, some kind of happiness are taking place. Why? So when somebody comes to the world, we welcome. And Bhagavan is in the form of happiness, Bhagavan in the form of sadness. This factor to be realized, that's what Arjuna is bringing now. From this second line of 20th words and even 21st words, so these verses are giving one more side of Bhagavan's glory. That what is one more side? Let us read the next words also. We can combiningly we can see the meaning. Amihitva surasangha vishanti kechid bhitah pranjalayo grananti swasti tyuktva maharshi siddha sangha stuvanti tvam stutibhih pushkalabhih. So these words has to be understood properly. Simple examples will help for us to understand. In the young age, the God is introduced in different way. The first, when the prasada is being prepared by our parents. So when a mother, she is preparing the naivedya. Prasada means naivedya. So after offering to the Lord, it is converted as prasada. But there is an expression, we can also say that prasada is being prepared. So you have that prasada mentality while preparing itself as a naivedya. Okay, so a mother is preparing naivedya, and that naivedya has got lots of sweets and lots of even different dishes. When there is a laddu sweet, her son comes and he picks one laddu and he tries to eat. Immediately she says that you put it. If you eat, the Ishvara will come and he will just punish you. He will punish you. Then that child just keeps it back. So this is how God is introduced to the children. Now that child, he grows with that fear underneath it lies down. If he is informed properly, slowly he can come out of that fear, and he also can get a proper knowledge about the Ishvara, which doesn't take place, because parents, when they are introducing the Ishvara, they should introduce properly. If at all they are introducing to control the child, then they have to change their understanding properly. The God is to be introduced properly, because we don't know a child what kind of character he is going to be. But we have to help them to get a proper character in their life. So like when God is introduced in this way, and in some of the families, gods are introduced as a friend. So Hanuman is your friend. Whatever you ask, he will definitely give. So you can play with him. Krishna, you can play with him. Even Lord Rama, you can play with him. This is how they introduce. So like the introduction of Ishvara brings the impact of a human being. Finally, what happened? Society has got means devotion, bhakti in two levels. The bhakti which involves a fear that God is a punisher. So I have to do puja properly. I have to go to temple properly. Otherwise, what? I will be punished. And one more group is there, they are going to the temples with a proper understanding. That proper understanding should take place. God is not the place where the fear should be there. You have to get away from the fear. And God has to be introduced. Therefore, I began from there. Now you see, we study in Purana, there are demons, they also worship God, and celestial being, they also worship the God. Celestial being, they don't have death. So why should they worship? There's always these demons, they want to beat the death, they want to overcome the death, therefore they do lots of tapas, asterisk life. That life, the aim of that life is to get away from the death. But God appears and God always says, so you cannot avoid the death, you are something else. And you may include the conditions of the death. Therefore, Narakasura asked for death. So the death should not take place in the daytime, in the night time. It has to be in between, and it should not be by human being or non-human being, not by animals, and it is not inside of the house, it is not outside of the house, and so many, and it is not by any weapon. So many conditions were added. Because of what? The motto of prayer is to escape from the death. But this celestial being, they are known as Amaraha. Amaraha means what? The people who have already crossed the death. Then what is the nature of those people's prayer? When they pray for what? And also it is said always these demons, they are troubling these Amaras, means celestial being, and all celestial being go to Lord Maheshwara or Mahavishnu to get protected. So this, they give the example. The people, they may not have the death fear, but they may have the fear of life. Okay, the life without trouble. Now this bhakti concept has to be realized properly. Now Bhagavan, who is in the form of death, and Bhagavan, who is in the form of birth. So when a mind enjoys by seeing the birth, the same mind will get collapses with the death. Now both has to be taken equally. Now he says in this verse, Sura Sanghaha, the group of all celestial beings are worshipping you. And there are a group of people, they are prostrating you with the fear. Why should they have the fear? Because of lack of clarity. Therefore, Arjuna also could see that, because when you see the world, all people who go to the temple, you go and stand in the temple, if you are able to hear their prayer, you will be burst. I tell you, because lots of fear, lots of tension, the density of the sadness you cannot tolerate. You cannot tolerate it, because people are locked in different way. They don't find the solution. But finally, if you think, they are the people who bring chaos, who make more confusion. That's what he says. The people worshipping out of fear, people worshipping with happiness, and people are worshipping with clarity. That's what he says. Swasti tu maharshi siddha sangaha swasti iti uktva stuvanti. This all siddhas, jnanis, their devotion just without fear, without any confusion, with clarity. They are not longing, they are not asking for anything. They just praise the Lord, and just they bring swasti vachana. Swasti vachana means auspicious words for others. Let auspicious things will may happen. You see all Shanti mantras, the Shanti mantras just is a kind of prayer. So you cannot find longing. They bless us. The Shanti mantras, they bless. Shanno mitrashyam varunaha, Shanno bhavatvaryama. So this is one Shanti mantra. Then Bhadram karne bhishrunayama devaha, Bhadram pashyem akshabhir yajatraha, Sthirairangaye stushtvagum sastanobhihi. So this is a kind of a willful prayer to bless the people. Let everywhere there must be auspicious things. Bhadram karne bhishrunayama. We may hear only auspicious thing. Let there be only auspicious thing. See the expression of the prayer, the nature of the prayer. Therefore, three kinds of devotees are introduced. The devotees who are very matured, who were called jnanis, yogis, siddhas. Therefore, it is said, Maharati Siddha Sanghaha. So, those prayers which are the standard wise in a high level. Then Bhitaha Pranjalayaha, the people who worship with fear. They also praise the Lord, but fear, out of fear. And the first varieties of people, Amaraha, Surasiddhaha, the celestial being. So you see the difference between celestial being and Siddhas. Siddhas, yogis, jnanis, their prayer, they are able to identify themselves with Ishvara, but not this Amaraha. Because of the Punya Pala, they are in Swarga, they are in Devaloka in the form of celestial being. After the completion of the Punya Pala, they are driven back to the earth. That is the difference. So all these people, I could see all the varieties of people. And this Ugram Rupam, therefore I told the example of Prahlada. So Narasimha Murthy, who is having Bhayankaratvam, who terrifies by the appearance. So, but Prahlada can have love towards him. He can have the devotion towards him, and also he blesses. That is the secret of our gods who are having, the weapon which are, just frightening others. Then we will continue next shloka from next session tomorrow. Harihi Om. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.